Hey y'all, hopefully you can hear me okay. Hold on. I'll be right back. So, my daughter is mad at me right now. I'm to blame for her end of her cheer career, and her cheer at this school. I went to take her to cheer practice like normal, and normally I drop her off and I drive off, but when I notice creeps, I tend to hang back just to make sure she's good before I leave. And there was this guy that I always see when they're in the public park practicing, like clockwork. So much so that I thought that the vehicle that he got in belonged to one of the parents, because he's always there when they're there. And of course, staff not clocking because they don't give a damn, or the cheer coach, it's not her kid. He had a phone and he was facing them, sitting in the little awning or whatever, and I sat behind him. And I was doing things to make him uncomfortable. I'll admit. I was like sitting directly behind him, coughing, because I was just waiting for him to leave, and he was sitting there talking to a lady who appeared to be unhoused. And so I just was like, after sitting there watching him for a while, I was like, I won't say nothing. I'll just watch and see, just to make sure he not recording nobody's kids, or, he not being weird. And he was just staring. So, I was like, which kid is yours? And he was like, huh? And I was like, I'm still sitting behind him at this point. And I'm like, which one is yours? They in front of us practicing at this point. And of course they got on booty shorts and tank tops, and, because it's hot. It's literally 100 and something degrees today. It's giving Afghanistan with this heat. So he's like, oh, I don't have a kid here. I'm just sitting here. I was like, oh, okay, you just sitting here watching little girls? Because I told you I waited to make sure, like, till I caught him, like, staring, like, nonstop. It's to the point where, when it gets to the point where you adjusting your seating so you can be in a direct line of sight, then I have a problem. Like, this park is so big, y'all. I don't understand. And that's not even the only awning part where you can sit at and be covered in the shade. Why must you sit here? And why are you here all the time during their practice? So some lady, I never seen her before, the unhoused lady, she's like, oh, he not watching them. He's not watching. I said, ma'am, I'm talking to him. I'm just having a conversation. That's all. And so he started to get loud, like, I'm not looking at them. I'm just sitting here. I was like, hold on, wait. Why are you getting excited? I was like, this doesn't call for excitement. I was like, I match energy though. So if you want to get loud, then I can get loud. So, and the lady was like, well, no, he wasn't watching them. I said, yeah, I was talking to him, because she was like, well, I'm sitting here watching them too. I said, yeah, you're a lady. I said, do you have kids? And she was like, yeah, I have 6 kids. I don't have none of them, though. I was like, okay, well, then you should know, like, a grown man just, has no business just sitting here, but whatever. I didn't say nothing else. I told you, as soon as you say something to them and you bring attention, then they feel convicted, and they get up and they feel compelled to move. So the reason why I decided to stay was because I saw one of the dads there who always stays like me. Like, he don't stay until I can see that he saw what I saw. Like, we won't stay unless you give us a like, unless it's something going on here that looks weird. So the lady was like, can you give me a ride to the weirdo that was staring? And he didn't want to give her a ride, but he felt compelled to because I was there, and he made it seem like he was there with her. But then from her asking for a ride, you could tell like they didn't even know each other. So that looks suspicious to me. If you just sitting there innocently, why are you pretending you know this lady? So he felt compelled to give her a ride because at first, you know how when somebody asks you for a ride and you really don't want to give it to them, you're like, oh, where you gotta go? Oh, because I wasn't even going that way. I'm going, you know, that type of energy. But he told her, come on. She had all her bags. He put her in the car and he left. And that's another thing. I'm like, he not even unhoused and he got a vehicle. So he came here specifically for this because he was walking up when I pulled up to drop her off. So after they left, the dad who I told you, me and him be on the same time, he came up to me and he was like, thank you so much. And I was like, oh, so I'm not crazy. You see what I see too, right? And he was like, yes, I see it. And I just want to say thank you because I don't even be feeling comfortable leaving my kid here. I said, I know. I wasn't even going to stay until I saw him just sitting there. And then he don't even have a kid here. Like, why is he at the what grown man just goes to the park? You're not running. You're not walking. You're not participating in no physical activity. You're literally just sitting there watching little girls, middle school and elementary school age girls. So, and you know the schedule because you always here. So when I guess, you know, because the guy left, he left. So I was like, let me sit around for a little bit just to make sure the guy don't circle the block, notice that we gone, and then feel the need to come back. So he didn't. I got in my car and I was getting ready to leave. And as I'm like, you know, having a thought process, let me go ahead and put it in reverse or whatever to, you know, go ahead and do what I need to do at home. I still got like an hour left before I got to pick her up. I can do X, Y, and Z. I see a car, like I'm sitting here. I see a car go like this. And I see the man in the car like do a double take at the girls. And then I saw him make a quick ass beeline for a parking spot. And then I saw him see him do all that. And then I'm sitting there looking, I'm like, that car looked familiar. So I'm just like, let me sit in the car and watch to see if he pull off or not before I pull off. Nope. That motherfucker waited like 5 minutes until, because at first I was looking directly at him. I had my phone, I was zooming in. I'm going to see if I can include the footage in here before I post. I'm zooming in the camera and I'm looking at him from way over here, watching me watch him. So that automatically got my spidey senses tingling because, sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? So, I'm like, well, as long as he in his car, I won't even say nothing. I look up and he walking towards the girls. Looking straight at them, but walking. So I'm like, okay. As long as he keep walking around, I'm not even going to pay it no mind. You know what I'm saying? Nope. This motherfucker walking, the girls is right here. He decides to stop over here. To just sit with his arms folded and just watch. And this is the second time I saw this man just do that. Just stop where he was going and just park his ass right in front of the girls and just watch. So I'm just like, let me wait a couple of minutes to see if he moved. I was like, oh God, I really don't want to say nothing to this man, but I'm not about to sit up here and just let this grown ass man sit up here and watch my kids. my kid. So of course he had a little switch in his walk when he was walking. I'm like, that don't mean nothing to me. I worked in correctional facilities where gay men who were actively gay in prison, were in there for sexually abusing little girls and boys. So that means nothing to me. So he just staring. So I got out. I was like, hey, any of these your girls? He like, what? I'm like, oh, I was asking, is any of these your girls? Because you just stopped here. He was like, okay, I just stopped here, and this is a public park. I'm allowed to be here. So I just pull out my phone, and I pointed at him. And I'm like, it is a public park. And he was like, and you can record me. I said, I know I can record you because this is a public park. I can record. I can record you watching the girls. And he was like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? What? I was like, there's nothing wrong with me. I said, grown men like to come to this park and watch these girls practice. I literally sit there and watch them. I said, it's not usually a problem. I can't stop you from doing this in a public park. But why do you have to park yourself right there? I was like, can you at least walk up so you're not in a direct line of sight, so you're not looking weird? And he was like, you can't tell me where I can go. This is a public park. I was like, you know what? You're right. Next thing I know, I hear, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? It's some Mexican lady. And my daughter ended up telling me later that she's always there. And she don't know if she got a daughter there, but she's always talking to the coach. So she yelling. She come over yelling. Nobody's yelling at this point. The guy is a little spicy, but, he's not even yelling. She comes over yelling, what is wrong with you? So I'm looking like, who? And she was like, you know what, sir? Go ahead about your business. I don't know what's wrong with this lady. She has a problem. I was like, I have a problem? I was like, I'm not the adult with no children coming to a park to watch little kids. I should have asked her who the hell was she. But she was like, you can't stop people from coming here and looking. She was like, what happened when they at the game? I said, well, when they're at the game, they'll be in a facility with other kids their age. And then I won't have to worry about no random creep just walking up, posting their stuff, looking at little girls. Like, how does that look? And why are you defending him? I was like, are you fucking serious? She was like, because it's always you. I sit here and watch you be belligerent and go off. I said, first of all, you're lying. She gets on the phone and she calls the lady who they go practice with. I don't know if this is the head lady. I don't know, and I don't give a damn. I don't care. So she starts lying on the phone to the lady. Oh, this lady comes here. I don't know who she is. I don't know what kid she has here, but she's walking up to parents, she's walking up to people just trying to be in a public park, belligerent. I said, I never was belligerent. I said, you're belligerent right now. You're the one causing the scene right now. I was like, I was simply having a conversation with him, and then here the hell you go. You have nothing to do with what's going over here. Over here, nothing. And so I was just like, you're lying. When she was telling the story to the lady, Tina, I was like, you're lying. She was just straight up lying. She was like, I always come to the park, I be belligerent. Never happened. Never. So then the coach came over. And the coach was like, what's going on? What's going on? You don't know what the fuck is going on because you're not even watching. You're not watching the creeps that's sitting up here staring at our kids and making us uncomfortable. You're not watching and you don't give a damn. And so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, and so she starts telling the lady, I just called Tina. This lady, something is wrong with this lady. And Tina said if she has a problem, then she can take her kid and she can leave. I turned around and said, you take your kid and you leave since you're the one that got the problem. I said, I'm not going any damn where with my kid. My kid did nothing here. The people that have the problem with me asking grown-ass men why they here looking at little girls, they the ones that should leave. And so the coach was like, well, I know we can't stop, people from coming and looking at your kids. She didn't even say, oh yeah, we had to call the police twice on men who was just being real creepy. One time I walked up and I saw the police, talking to one of the parents. I was like, and I'm not belligerent. I was like, I'm not the only one that feel this way. A dad just walked up to me and said thank you because all I did was ask a man whose kid was here. And so, anyway, I like that lighting. So anyway, I'm just like, I don't feel comfortable with my kid here. I didn't say anything rude to him. All I did was ask him whose kid was here, and then she came out of nowhere. I was like, she didn't even have nothing to do with this conversation. So she all belligerent on the damn phone, like, get out of my space. Get out of my space. I was like, are you fucking serious? You came into my space. I didn't come to you. You came to me, acting like Captain Save a fucking pedophile. Acting like Captain Save a pervert. So the coach was like, well, I can't stop them from coming here, but if you parents don't feel comfortable, then y'all should pitch in and get us a space. First of all, I paid $555 just last month to your ass. Every month is $30 coach fee. This shit ain't free. I paid allegedly for a camp that I already talked to y'all about it. That shit wasn't worth no $555. And then I thought that part of the money goes to the uniforms. It turned out they didn't even get to keep the uniforms, or they don't even get to take them home. That sound like bullshit to me. But I said none of that during the time. I said, you know what? You right. We should. I said, now that we all are in agreement that it's a problem, I said, I've been told you that I could have talked to somebody at my school and we could have used my school. Because even when I go to my school on the lawn and stuff, there's police patrolling and golf carts, there's security. Somebody wanting to sit there and look at girls is going to be uncomfortable in a place like that. So when I said that, she was like, well, I can't have everybody just here making a scene. The only person that was making a scene was the person that was fucking with her. I'm just sitting there with my arms folded, like, yeah, whatever. Until I heard when she said, get out of my face, I was like, don't tell me what to do. And I walked closer to her because, bitch, don't fucking play with me when it come to my kid. Don't play with me. So I was like, I don't even understand what's going on. Who is this lady? Why is she? I was like, what business is it of hers? So then that's when the coach was like, well, you know what, Coco, since you have a problem, you ignoring, this is what I mean about the racial undertone of shit. Because regardless of how the situation look and how the scene look and how calm I get my point across, I'm automatically viewed from the outside looking in, who wasn't there to see nothing kick off, as the aggressor. So she was like, you can take Lord and you can leave. I was like, say no more. Say no more. Lord, let's go. Not dealing with it. Let's go. Get all your shit because you will not be back. You don't got to kick me out more than once. One time, that's the fuck it for me. So, yeah, I just deleted the app, deleted everything. And you know what? I'm fucking relieved. You not paying attention to what the fuck is going on around you. You're not paying attention. Anybody could be in this motherfucker recording our kids. You're not even paying attention. And then you got this fucking sidekick here who I don't even know. Do she have kids there or not? Who the fuck is this lady? You know what? It don't even matter. So I took my daughter. We left. She said when we got home, I told her, you could Go ahead and take today to mourn, you know, what could have been, because I know she was looking forward to going to that school when it started. I'm a cheerleader. You know, that's what kids do. I totally understand. And I even told her, I'm sorry, it's not your fault. You had nothing to do with the situation that happened, and it's a shame that your coach decided to punish you because perverts want to sit there and watch you in the park. And because this other extra ass lady that you got there, I don't even know who this lady is sitting up here defending pedophiles. So before that happened, right before that happened, some man got out the car and walked up to the lady. And she was like, oh, be careful, hon, be careful. She'll say you're looking at her kid. I said, no, I won't. I said, he actually has business here. He has a purpose for being here. She was like, no, he doesn't have a purpose here. He doesn't have a kid here. He doesn't have a kid here. I said, ain't he with you? You sound dumb as fuck right now. Doing the absolute most to defend fucking perverts. Are you serious? So, and I thought about it. I was sad yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I maybe could have been quiet, you know, for the sake of my daughter, because I know she really wanted this, but fuck no. No. That showed me that was the wrong environment for her ass to be in, where motherfuckers want to sympathize and come to the defense of pedophiles before they come to the defense and the privacy of young girls. It's your job as the coach to make sure that these girls' privacy is protected. They shouldn't even be practicing out here anyway. It's all type of unhoused people, all type of drug addicts, all type of shit going on here. People literally live here. So I'm glad. You know, she's mad at me because I just decided to take her out to school and all together. That was a sign of things to come for this upcoming school year, and I'm not having it. Y'all know I talked to y'all about what happened with all the racist shit and how many times I had to go up to that school. I'm not dealing with it. So I just decided to sign her up for online school, and we will do that. You know, I did talk to them. You know, it's against, you know, her wishes, but I did talk to the school, and they said if, you know, she wants to change her mind, she can do so next semester, and we'll go from there. And it's actually good because I started my job, and I wouldn't be able to take her back and forth, picking her up to and from school, and I was going to have her ride the scooter home with all these fucking perverts and pedophiles. That's probably not the best thing, and I think everything happens for a reason, and we're always going to be protected. So, you know, sometimes you have to do what's best for your kid, whether they recognize it or not. So that's what we're doing. I just decided to just say, you know, forget the whole, and it's not even like, and I told her not, you know, I wasn't trying to put a jab at her, but I was like, yo, they're not even that good. They're not even good. They're not good. I'm sorry. That's just my unbiased opinion as an observer. They kind of fucking suck, and they're kids. So, you know, I'm just telling y'all, and I just told her, like, don't get too upset about this cheap ass, rinky dink ass cheer team. You can, there's so many other cheer teams, and, you know, so she was sour. She didn't want to look at, you know, no other teams. So I'm like, okay, music it is, instrument it is. And I found a guy in town, or a lady, excuse me. I found a lady in town. It's a lady that does the piano lessons and a guy that does the guitar lessons. I'm guessing they probably like, you know, they're probably like husband and wife. So I asked her, I'm like, pick an instrument, piano or guitar. She said piano, so we'll be doing piano lessons. We'll be doing homeschool, and it's actually better because my schedule coming up with working and nursing school, I won't have time to be able to carry her back and forth. So that's my thing, you know. You know, it's unfortunate that it had to happen this way, but it was gonna happen regardless. Like I was telling y'all in the beginning when I was saying, you know, she made the team. Everybody made the team, first of all. because they want anybody that's going to pay. I pay my shit on time. A lot of them don't. A lot of the moms don't. So, hey, they just lost one. It's not my loss. It's 100% their loss. So, yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with now. I started my new job. I won't go into that. Maybe, a little later when I'm more comfortable and I'm more settled into the position, I can go over that. And I can go over the next video I'll probably do is preparing for nursing school, because I'll be doing that in the spring. So yeah, so far I love my job. Everybody's so nice. Everybody's always nice when you first get there. But so far so good. And I'm coming in with a background for this particular thing. It's something that I did a long time ago. But it's, not too hard work. And they work with me with my schedule. Like I'm like, oh, I can't work these days. And he literally was like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll work around it. And he literally did. Like, they told me to write down when I can work, and they'll work the schedule around that. So I'm super grateful for that. And, I was yesterday after all that happened, because I just turned down a contract to go. I was doing everything for the contract, and then I decided not to go at the last minute. Well, it was kind of taking, y'all know how long it take for these contracts. All the paperwork, the onboarding and all that stuff. But it was taking so long, and I went on a job interview, and they was like, he basically told me I got the job on the spot. And he was like, if you really want to go to work, we can have you working by the 3rd. And he wasn't lying. So, yeah. Just single mother BS. Trying to navigate everything on my own. Trying to make sure I keep everything straight with my education. Nothing's going to stop me there. And, just the trials that come with being the only parent. I was thinking, that's the only time I get upset when I'm single, when I have to deal with stuff like this, because this is something like men just lurking around the parking lot. That's something that could have been handled by a significant other. You know what I mean? I would have been like, hey, get them. And it wouldn't even been on us. But like I said, everything wouldn't even been on me. Excuse me. It's all on me. And I'll take that. But I feel like sometimes people in the community play with you when they know you single, when they know it's not a man to come and, and I have to be the mean, aggressive person sometimes because there's no man around to do it. And sometimes that life calls for that energy, and you got to be that too. So, I'm going to just try to find her another sports activity. I even asked her, I'm like, so soccer or, track. She's, not interested in either of those. So, we'll work out the details as time goes on. But I am going to get her back into an activity immediately so she's not just sitting in the house. And, with school, not only am I not going to have time to deal with the fuckery that is the school that she went to last year, unprofessional, a little racist, and all the other issues, I won't have time for that. So it's like everything happened perfectly at the right time, but it's just sad that it had to happen that way. I'd much rather leave a situation and a motherfucker tell me I'm excluded. And then part of me is like, that's your ego talking. Like, it don't matter how it ended because it had to. But still, and I always get proven right in these situations. Like, I was being her last year. It was her school, but it was also The apartment manager at the apartment complex that we lived in, she was crazy. Another racist lady. You know, I should have cursed her ass out several times, and I bit my tongue because my daughter was present. But I was thinking to myself, lady, if I was here by myself, I would have dragged the hell out of you. But I can't get into all that right now. And I just prayed about it. And I was like, God, get me out of here. God got me out of there into something way better. Something that I actually wanted. And then later on, I find out through one of my caseworkers that her ass got in trouble legally. She's facing legal trouble for trying to be a BS apartment manager. So every time I leave a scene, it's like when I was being harassed when I was working at this prison by just people hating that I was young, successful, and black. And they were also black. And then like literally the week I left, like literally that week or probably the following week, an inmate just walked right the hell out of the door. And all the officers, the officers, because they get into some of the officers. When I was an officer, I never did that. But some of the officers, especially the black women, they like to, you know, kind of troll the nurses a little bit, especially the black nurses, the young nurses, that they think the man, whatever man they dealing with inside these walls, inmate or officer, it don't matter. They do it all. When they feel like, oh, she looked decent enough for somebody to look at, then they want to troll. And this lady used to always, when I would come in, I would leave to go on break, literally go sit in my car. And when I came in, this was during COVID time, they would have to put the thermometer, the gun thermometer, and take your temperature, you know, because of COVID. And you literally saw me walk out, and it's hot. It's the South. It's summertime in the South. And I go in my car, and you literally see me in there for 30 minutes. And then I come back out, and then you like, oh, nope, can't let you in because you too, like, okay. Well, then you'll be on watch when the fucking inmate walk out the door because you so busy looking at me and not handling the security like you supposed to. Then now that's your ass, Mr. Postman. That's your job. Every time somebody play with me, something terrible happens to them. And no, I'm not wishing anything terrible on anybody involved in anything that I talked about here. But I'm just saying, usually when God get me up out of something, something terrible follows after I leave. So, you know, and then I always get proven right down the line. Like, I don't know how you could argue against somebody who's trying to protect kids from pedophilia and motherfuckers recording them and CSAM floating around with, you know, the kids involved face on it. But so be it, you know. We all worship different. We all not worshiping the same God, you know. And that's a lot like, when a lady was yelling, the belligerent, she was like, everybody sits here and watch. I saw you sitting there watch. I'm like, you saw me watching who? And she was like, I saw you watching the girls. I'm like, okay, again, you're fucking lying. How could I be watching the girls if I was busy watching his ass watch the girls? Huh? You make no sense. It's like she had a vendetta against me. I probably cut her off in traffic one time and she remembered me. Or I told you, I think in the town that I live in, they really have like, it was confirmed. I told my caseworker and I told my daughter, I'm like, I think they have like a community board or some place where they gather and they talk about different individuals in the community. Who's new? Who is this? And then my caseworker was like, yeah, no, they do. They do. One time they posted this lady and, you know, just because she was new in the neighborhood and posted a picture of her in the board. It was like, does anyone know who this is? And it was just some lady literally just doing her job. I think she was a delivery person or something like that. So they be knowing about me. And they all trade and share information. But that's cool. I don't give a fuck what they know, what they share, what... I'm doing what I came here to do. And I'm not letting nothing stop me. And I'm not letting nobody record my fucking child. I don't care. I don't care how crazy you think that make me. If I'm crazy from protecting my child's image or being able to be viewed later on while they go do this and look at the video, then so be it. Call me one crazy ass cat lady. That's it. It's that simple. You know, and sometimes I have to do a self-check. Like, was I wrong in that situation? And I literally was pondering it. All the different things that I could have did wrong. And it's like, no. No, I could see if this was the first time I saw that guy. It's not. It's far from the first time. It's like they see when the girls is practicing, they learn their schedule, and then they're like, well, nobody can stop me from going to be in a public park. That's why the girls don't need to be in a fucking public park practicing, cheerleading. So, I don't give a damn about you kicking me out of this rinky-dink ass cheer team where nobody got fucking rhythm, nobody can cheer, and then you remove the one black girl. So, good luck with that. And yeah, we're going to keep it moving. It's not going to stop me from doing what I need to do. Yeah, so I just wanted to give y'all that update. Yeah. Anybody got any questions, comments, concerns? Feel free to drop a comment down below.